Hey guys, TheKaijudoChannel here, and I am back with a new deck profile that I should have done last week, but I was too busy doing stuff. So now I got a real deck profile to show, and I haven't really tested this much, but anyways, it looks kind of coolish. I don't know. I'm just gonna show it off, but I like to call this deck Beastly Humans because it has a lot of beast folk and it has a lot of humans and it's pretty aggro-ish and it's pretty cool, I guess. So, I mean, the main focus card is Gonta pretty much because it's a human and a beast folk. So, it's just like the best card in this deck really for bait anyways, and it's just a beefy level 2 creature, so you have to use it. Okay, before I explain everything, I'm just gonna go through all the cards really quickly. So I have 2 Crow Wingers, 3 Barkwhips, 4 Pyrofighters, 2 Cavern Raider, 2 Wild Racer Chief Garan, 4 Bronze Arm Tribes, 1 Armored Blaster Valdios, 3 Mykee's Pliers, 3 Wind Axe, 1 Armored Decimator Valkaizer, 1 Fighter Duel Fang, 3 Twin-Cannon Skyterror, and 1 Galklife Dragon. So that's it for the creatures, and then the spells. There's 4 Comet Missiles, 3 Soulswaps, 2 Burst Shots, 2 Natural Snares, 2 Miraculous Rebirth, and 1 Apocalypse Vise. So, um, the core of the deck is very similar to Aggro. I mean, like the Pyrofighters, the Gontas, um, the Soulswaps, the Twin-Cannon Skyterrors, and the Bronze Arm Tribes are pretty much the core of Aggro decks. Oh, and Wind Axes too. So I'm just gonna explain the interesting choices. So let's start with Crowwinger. Crowwinger, it's a cheap beast folk, so it's also level 2 just like Gonta, and it's kind of cool because it gains 1,000 power for each water and darkness creature your opponent has in the battle zone. So I mean, late game, if you're playing against a control deck, he probably has a good chance of being like 4,000 just like Gonta. So early game he's really not that good, but early game this deck tries to be pretty much like Rush without the one drops pretty much. So that explains why I'm using the 4 Comet Missile because Gonta, you want to attack with Gonta so bad, and Bloody Skeeto and Tajima and all that is just so annoying, and like using this cheap level 1 card to get rid of almost any blocker that gets over Gonta. Well, every blocker that gets over Gonta pretty much, but I mean like any blocker period because not many blockers have 6,000 or more, or I mean 7,000 or more. But yeah, that's why I'm using 4 of these. I mean, you need to use 4 if you want to get those Gonta swinging. So now I'm using Barkwhips because I have a lot of Beast Folk, and they're nice and cheap, and they're pretty much speed attackers, kind of. And it has a pretty beefy 5,000, so it's even more than Gonta, so it can get over those Skeetos, and it even powers up your other Beast Folk by 2,000 each, and there's quite a bit of other Beast Folk, so that's why I'm using them. Pyrofighters are Pyrofighters. Cavern Raider, this is kind of an interesting one, since there's so many ways to get rid of blockers. Well, not so many, but I mean the 4 Comet Missiles are pretty common. You can pretty much get through with Cavern Raider. I think Cavern Raider would probably be like it'd probably be the best turn 4 play. You can play Cavern Raider and then clear out the blocker with Comet Missile. Uh, and then next turn you could swing with Cavern Raider, and you get to search for any creature if he gets attacked and doesn't get blocked. So that's actually really good. The thing with this deck is it's very toolbox-ish. It has a lot of singles, like a lot of one drop, not one drops, but I mean like one ofs in the deck, like Galklife, Fighter Dual Fang, and a lot of the evolutions and stuff. So it's a pretty good card in here. I don't know if it would really be good in testing, but I mean it just seems good on paper. Wild Racer Chief Garan. This is one of the human bait in here besides the Gontas and the Wind Axes. Chief Garan is just, I guess, kind of nice because it has light stealth, so you can bypass those Tajimals and they can't do anything. And it's Power Attacker 1000, so it's kind of weakish, but just for the fact that it gets by those light blockers is pretty cool. So then the 4 Bronze Arm Tribes. Then we have Armored Blaster Valdios and Armored Decimator Valkaizer. These are the 2 Evo humans in the deck. They're actually not that bad. This Decimator card is actually pretty good. It's pretty much the Chaos Swarm of Fire, so it's really not that bad. You destroy one of your opponent's creatures that has power 4,000 or less, so it really isn't that bad, and you could search it with Cavern Raider or something. So I guess I don't know. It's just a cool card to have. And then Armor Blaster Valdios. Um, it's just nice. It's another one of those human evolutions, and it powers the other humans up, so you can have Wind Axe at 3,000, Gonta at 5,000. Just some silly things like that. So I think it's pretty cool to have him too. Now 3 Mykee's Pliers. This is actually a pretty dang good card in here. It isn't really getting used to its full potential because it works with darkness and nature cards, but here it's only going to work for the nature cards. But it pretty much makes your nature cards in this deck speed attacker, so you can get this guy out, and then every single nature card you play after you can swing right away, and I think that's a pretty dang good effect. And it has 2,000 power, so that might be the only bad thing about it, is that it could easily get destroyed by Dragon's Flame and all that, but other than that, if he stays on the board, it's pretty good. And then you got the Wind Axes for even more blocker destruction, which is pretty much essential in aggro decks. And it even mana excels as well, just like Bronze Arm Tribe, so that's always good. We have Fighter Dual Fang. You have to use the Fire Dual Fang because Gorby says so. And it's just nice to get, 2 top cards of your deck into your mana. I just saw a Japanese equivalent of this card that's actually way better than this card. It's like 9,000 power, and then it has the exact same effect as Fire Dual Fang, except you add a top card to your deck to your mana for every time it attacks, which is even more ridiculous. So I'd be using that instead of this, but Fire Dual Fang's awesome anyway. Twin Cannon, you gotta run him. Speed attacker, double breaker, awesome. And then just one Galklife Dragon, just to get rid of those annoying light blockers that your opponent may have. And now I know that Galklife destroys your own light creatures too. So now I know that I can use this and be safe because there's no light cards in here. Okay, so that's pretty much for the creatures. The spells for Comet Missiles is essential to destroy those blockers. Soulswap, it's just too good not to run with the Twin Cannons, but since I'm only running 3, I mean, I guess 3 is fine. I don't think I need 4 of these. 2 Burst Shots just to stop rush decks that go against this, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think rush is a huge problem against this. I mean, it is faster than this deck, but this deck is just so much better late game or mid game, really. And then 2 Natural Snares just in case there's some really big creature you can't destroy. So you put it in their mana. Same thing for Apocalypse Vise. That's the exact same reason why I'm using that to get rid of those big beefy creatures that you just can't get rid of, or just destroy a lot of things with Apocalypse Vise. And now, one of my favorite cards in this deck is Miraculous Rebirth. I'm only running 2 because it's quite costly, but it's awesome. I mean, you destroy one of your opponent's creatures with 5,000 or less, which is already a pretty good card right there. And then you get to summon a creature from your deck with the same mana cost as the card you destroyed. So this card is a +1, right? Yeah, it's a +1, but you get a creature on board and they lose a creature, which is just so cool. I mean, like, you can destroy their Tajimal, get out a Pyrofighter, swing, and then it goes back to your hand. You can do like really silly things like that. It's pretty cool. You can get a Bronze Arm Tribe, add a card to your mana. Like, there's just so many things you could do. I mean, there's cards from 2 to 7, so that's pretty good range. I mean, you can't really do anything about the 1 drops or the 8 drops, but 8 drops are higher. But it's still it's a pretty decent card to at least run 2 of them. So that's it for this Beastly Humans aggro green-red deck. Let me know what you think about it. I honestly don't really know what to say about it because I haven't really used it before. So overall, I mean, it looks really good. I don't know if it would really be good, but it's just kind of fun to use, I would think. I mean, like the random Wild Racers, Crow Wingers, Cavern Raiders, these Valdios and stuff. It's just really cool. And I love 4 Comet Missiles. I just really love that. Anyways, that's it, guys, for this deck profile. Hope you liked it. Have a nice day. See you later.